Historically, video game adaptations in media have been not so great. However, things have been on an upswing these last few years, almost like large studios finally woke up and are starting to make not good, but great video game movies and shows. It feels like the first Sonic movie was the turning point, at least for me personally, and now with the long-awaited Super Mario Bros. Movie out, we have another to add to the list. I just want to warn you, not only am I about to gush over this movie, I'm going to talk full spoilers. If you haven't seen it yet, I did a non-spoiler review, which you can go check out instead. Otherwise, in the words of the famous Mario, here we go. All right, fine. Here we go! The Super Mario Bros. Movie is, without a doubt, an incredibly faithful adaptation that will please fans of all levels. Whether you're relatively new to the Mushroom Kingdom or, like me, you've grown up with the Plumber duo over the last 3 decades, the movie is a lot of fun and there's something to look for in just about every scene. I mean, right off the bat, you're hit with the early confirmed Charles Martinet cameo, but let me reel it back a bit. The movie opens with an extended cut of the first trailer, leading right into the Super Mario Bros. Super Show inspired commercial. That's when we find Mario and Luigi talking amongst themselves in Punch-Out Pizza. That's right, a pizza joint themed after Punch-Out, complete with a gallery wall of the entire cast and a Jumpman arcade machine. Once I saw those two things, I already knew what kind of ride I was in for, and I was pumped. And that's where Charles Martinet made his first cameo. And it took me a bit to realize that he also plays Mario's dad, which is perfect casting, who lives in like a 1-bedroom apartment with his wife, sons, and 4 other people. Anyway, Mario and Luigi's room is also another Nintendo museum. He has an R-Wing sitting at the top of his TV. He's playing Kid Icarus on his NES. And I'm sure there's a lot more, but I also missed a lot. So the plot moves along as Mario and Luigi are desperate for new clients after spending their life savings on a commercial, and they finally get one after Luigi's phone rings, and it's revealed that his ringtone is the GameCube startup jingle, which is amazing. They head to this multi-million-dollar home, which has an abstract painting of the Duck Hunt dog, and things are an absolute disaster. It's your usual Illumination slapstick gag scene, but I legitimately thought Mario and Luigi were about to off a dog in the first 15 minutes of this movie. And there's a huge sewage emergency in the middle of downtown Brooklyn, and Mario and Luigi rush to the scene after being told by their father that they're a huge disappointment for quitting their day job at Spike's Wrecking Crew to pursue their own business. I don't know why Mario and Luigi were able to get there before, any first responders, but they eventually end up underground where you see a sign that says World 1-2 and a green warp pipe, and then the isekai begins. Next thing you know, Mario and Luigi are traveling through the warp pipe channel, and they're pulled into 2 separate directions where Luigi goes to the Darklands and Mario heads to the Mushroom Kingdom. It's pretty comparable to, let's say, New York and New Jersey. From here, the pacing gets weird because it's just like rapid-fire events and everyone is just on board for everything. Mario meets Toad. Toad agrees to take him to Peach. Castle guards make the princess is in another castle joke and then are distracted by a little home cooking. We also have the Captain Toad theme snuck in here, which is neat considering Toad's backpack has a bunch of patches from places he's visited, like Toast Arena and some others. My guess is that he eventually becomes Captain Toad, or it's implied that he is Captain Toad, or it's just complete speculation. But if we're on board for, in quotes, according to Chris Pratt, a lot of Mario movies, I could see it happening. Then begins the training arc, the one that the trailer set us up for, where Mario takes on an obstacle course with plastic fireballs and robotic piranha plants to another 80s montage. I do like how power-ups were just explained in a third of a second. It was like, here, eat these to get a power. If you get hit, you lose it. That's literally it. Also, Mario doesn't even complete the course. He gets close and Peach is like, close enough. I mean, that was my mentality all through high school as a solid C student. And then Peach says she's going to go after Bowser, but she needs to unite with the Kong army first to take them on. And the Toads are like, okay, cool, but who's that guy? To which Peach responds, it doesn't matter. And then nobody questions a thing, and they just leave. I'm confident that future movies will be much better paced. And at the end, I would love to talk about some things I would love to see in sequels. Besides Yoshi, who's, we'll talk about that later. On the other side of the world, Luigi is not having a good time, and the dry bones are terrifying. It's a real 21 days later situation. We also get a glimpse of how dry bones become dry bones when Bowser torches the out of Koopa Troopa. And then Luigi eventually gets captured by a band of Shy Guys and Sniffets, who I was so glad to see in the movie. Just some good Super Mario Bros. 2 representation. The second arc of this movie is Peach traveling to the Kong Kingdom, or Kong Island, or whatever they officially called it, to ask for Cranky Kong's army in some Game of Thrones-esque manner. And I might be getting a little ahead of myself here, but we saw way more DK than I was expecting, which makes me believe that the rumored solo DK movie is very possible. Truth be told, I was a little disappointed by Seth Rogen's DK voice, because it was literally just his voice. But I think it could also be because they want him to lead a movie. Who knows, though. But Peach and Mario show up and are dropped off by some random Kong at Cranky's place, and I don't know why we needed Take On Me by Aha to get us there, but apparently we did. It felt super out of place. All of the 80s songs in this felt a little forced and a little cliche, but it's to be expected with an Illumination film. Now, Cranky being cast by Fred Armisen is the biggest miss in the entire movie. I may have some hate coming my way, but it didn't fit at all. Anyway, he says Mario has to fight DK for his army, blah, blah, blah. And then Donkey Kong comes out to the DK rap, which is incredibly based Nintendo or Illumination or whoever made the call. I'm so glad they included that. The fight scene is actually really good. There's a lot of action. We not only get to see some new power-ups like the Catsuit and Mini Mushroom, but we get to see some familiar faces in the crowd like Diddy Kong, Dixie, Chunky. He's not dead, by the way. And Diddy actually had a speaking part, but I don't actually know who voiced him. I wasn't really looking for it in the credits, but I'm seeing the movie again, so I will keep my eyes peeled. Oh, fun little Easter egg, but the map they look at is actually stylized to look like the Super Mario World's map, which was neat. Now, once the alliance is formed, it sets in motion the whole big Mario Kart sequence, which begins just like Mario Kart 8. You select your build on the dial, and a Kong builds it for you. Weirdly enough, there were no Mercedes, and I guess they didn't hear about the meta shift either, because no one picked the bear cart. But the whole kart segment is great. Full of action. We get to see a personified blue shell who straight up kamikazes himself. Mario does the level skip. It's fun. And the entire time, Bowser's goal is just to propose to Peach, which ties Odyssey into this, but Bowser eventually gets his shot, and Peach agrees under pressure. Now cue up the big wedding scene, and we have everyone filing into the pews, followed by King Babam and King Boo, which were two of my favorite cameos in this entire movie. I mean, we did get a short look at Babam Battlefield when the gang was crossing the lands, but I wasn't actually sure if we'd get to see the big man himself. And we did. Now just be warned, King Babam's death explosion is going to be in my videos a lot as soon as I get a high-resolution clip. We also got to see an ice flower and a tanuki leaf at the wedding. So there's a ton of cool power-up diversity. Now, the weird thing is, Mario never got the fire flower. He came close, but they might be saving it for the sequel. We got blue-balled pretty hard with Fire Mario. Now, the wedding's not going according to plan. So Bowser eventually throws a hissy fit, and he launches a Bonsai Bill, which is essentially a nuke. And Mario's job is to lure it away into the warp pipe, and he nukes the hell out of the place and ends up sucking everyone into Brooklyn, where the final battle goes down, on their home turf. The entire final act of this movie is amazing. Mario's getting his ass beat, and then the Power Star ends up between him and Bowser. It's a mad dash, but it goes as you would expect. And I'm glad it wasn't just Mario finishing things off, but Mario and Luigi grab the Power Star, and you know the beatdown is about to happen. Bowser gets his ass kicked in what I can only describe as a fight ripped straight out of Dragon Ball Z, complete with some tail-swinging action. The whole movie, the entire brotherly love theme is actually kind of touching, because Mario straight up says he would do anything for his brother. He loves Luigi. Luigi loves Mario. They protect each other. It was just really nice to see. Neither of them were completely helpless, and they worked great together. It was a good payoff at the end to see them both fighting Bowser. Okay, I guess nobody who worked on this movie has ever used the internet, but once Bowser's defeated, they force-feed him a mini mushroom. That's not the problem. Then they put him in a jar. I'm now going to talk about something else. So, cut to the end of the movie. Mario and Luigi are waking up for work as they are now successful plumbers with a very large client base. And when they leave their apartment, they're now in the Mushroom Kingdom. So that's where they live now, I guess. Also, can they go back and forth whenever they want? Because I was so sure when I saw that Bonsai Bill hit that it was going to destroy the portal and they would be stuck there. I don't know if I like this vacation home business, but I guess whatever makes them happy. Credits roll, and you have 2 credit scenes. One in the middle, which is just Jack Black playing his tiny jail piano and singing his new hit song Peaches, and the actual end credit scene, which is a Yoshi egg that is in the sewers of Brooklyn and it hatches, which means that we're likely going back to Brooklyn for the sequel. As much as I want them to do Galaxy, I don't want them to rush it. I was so sure that with the Luma, Peach talking about not knowing where she's from and kind of looking out into the stars and talking about galaxies, and having an end credit scene that's the direction we were going to go in, and we were going to see Rosalina. But I like the idea of them slowly establishing the universe, pun not intended, and adding characters slowly. I would kill to see Wario and Waluigi on the big screen. I know there's a future there for them, so it's just a matter of when. Now, to wrap things up, I loved this movie despite its issues. Again, I think the pacing will be better in sequels because the world and roles are already established. If you want more of my general thoughts on the movie, such as visuals, music, plot, etc., the non-spoiler review kind of covers all of that. A lot of people will argue that it lacks substance without references to lean on, but people have been complaining about the lack of story in Mario games for years. So why do we all of a sudden think that Nintendo is going to drop a Last Wish caliber story? I think the story was fine. It did what it needed to do, and it's set up for doing more of them. But I'm excited to see what future movies look like, and if we'll get more of the Nintendo universe on the big screen. I'm sure I missed a bunch of things I wanted to talk about, but I might make some shorts or another video if I feel like there's more to be said, and there might be. Oh, look at that. We're at the end of the video, and you're definitely subscribed by now, right? Closing thoughts? Mario movie good? Thanks for watching, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section.